When you're down in Tennessee where freedom is alive, you hear shots ring from home. Check on 45. Life is good. She's forever and he probably should. His comments here in Nashville, in the land of the free. Life is good. He's always shooting. He probably wouldn't really get life is good. He wouldn't leave you even if he could. Life is good.
Yes, Hickok 45, your internet shooting companion, coming to you from Tennessee, the beautiful green hills of Tennessee, getting greener all the time, the home of James Yeager and Jeff Quinn. Let's give them some publicity again. We miss them. So I'm glad you're here, and yeah, it's getting greener all the time. I mean, it's about as green as it's going to get, I guess. You know, leaves will get a little bigger, but it's really filled in, and it's pretty nice over here on the Gong Club Range. So here I am. What is this thing? Well, you know what it is. It's a, well, let's give you a quiz. Take a closer look. Closer look. Many of you know. You might have seen the picture I posted on Instagram with it in the High Point carbine. Yeah, Sam 7. Except this is not the same Sam 7, okay, that I have had for years. This is a different one, and we'll talk a little about. Not really. AKs are a different proposition, aren't they? It's not like just buying parts and assembling an AR, pressing in the barrel and that kind of stuff. Not as many people work on AKs, at least to that extent. You know, where they'll change out the barrel for you and that sort of thing. I mean, other parts I could change out, but I'll tell you, when it comes to the barrel, and I've learned that on that Chinese, which it's in great shape now, but I was thinking about doing some serious modification with that, and ended up not doing it, which is, you know, part of the story of this too. You know, we realized that we couldn't, after all, couldn't switch out the sear, even though that's a registered part on my AK, my registered AK. Into one of these or some other firearm. Discovered you really couldn't do that, and so the people I had working on that would just let them keep the Sam 7, sold it to them, and I got, you know, my Chinese AK original form, but I kind of missed the Sam 7. I really did. That was, wow, time flies when you're having fun. What's that? Last year, but I've just missed the Sam 7, and even after I sold it to them, it didn't give me a good price, but I got to looking around online. Oh wow, suckers are now selling for, you know, $25,000, $28,000, $3,000. You know, I don't know if I want one that badly to replace it. I thought I could replace it for the same money maybe that I got for it, but so I don't know. I've got some nice Chinese AKs. I got the other SGL 20. And probably enough AKs to get me through, and so I just kind of forgot about it. But I noticed, I found the source of some online that were the same price as what I sold my other one for, new ones, Sam 7, and man, you know, that is really tempting, because that was kind of my original plan when I told them, yeah, I'll just keep it or I'll sell it to you. And because they'd, you know, mess with it and stuff, and wanted it if I would sell it, and I said yeah. So anyway, yeah, got my Sam 7 back. You know, lots of great AKs. They almost all of them work. There is something about this thing though, and you know, I had the experience of firing theirs in full auto too. You saw that, and boy, it was a sweet shooter. I knew it was a sweet shooter, and you really can tell with that. And I guess a lot of it is it's just the muzzle brake and the course, a milled receiver, because most of the AKs are AKMs actually, right? That most of us fire, not all of us, but and I don't know if it's the weight and just the Arsenal does a great job. Sound like I'm selling Arsenal, but yeah. So I haven't shot it much at all. I'm trying to get the sights switched out. I don't know if I'll ever do that or not. I'll tell you. And oh yeah, don't let me forget these people. I want to thank Alabama Holster for their support of the channel, who makes wonderful little smart concealment holsters, Kydex, belt holsters inside the waistband, outside the waistband, purse holsters, you name it. And great outfit. Appreciate their support. See them there on the target. And then, of course, I'm going to load up something else here and shoot it. I've been meaning to bring this out a little bit because this is my, what is it? You tell me. Model 41. Yes. It has been in the safe lately. I've had some other firearms that were my primary go-to firearms in terms of bigger guns, home protection, whatever. And but it's recently taken on a little bit of a role there. I'm going to get this thing out and shoot it some more. Okay, shoot it because I like it, and always have. I've got a threaded barrel for it. I don't have it out today, and I just like it. It's like a Model 21, but it's just got a little thinner slide, a little longer slide, and just a nice piece. So I'm going to get that thing out and take a couple shots with it, which I might just do. And you see the Talon grips on that thing. Appreciate Talon grip support and ballistol. I ballistalled everything up here a little bit. Let's just shoot it. Again, we got a. Well, let me shoot this mag. Okay. 230 grain hardball. Yeah, nice. Cowboy, I'm going to put one right over that bowling pin onto you. And reach out to the gong, maybe. Y'all remember where to hold? Let's try to support us. So I'm going to reach out. Try that gong again. In the shadows over there. There we go. That's a sweet sound. All right, a little plus P on the gong. How about a little plus P on that milk carton right here? Boom. And that hog, yeah. Yeah, those feel plus P. Okay. Nothing like a 45. Whether it's a short little stubby round, or a long Colt, or a 45-70, just whatever, right? And I'm a little early this week because I'm going to be out a little traveling. So what I might do, keep this one short today. Of course, it won't seem short to you because I might plug in some long, boring, rambling. Okay, so you'll know if I do, and where it is. So yeah, there we are. So I probably give some advice to young people before we get too far afield for that reason. Okay. And one of the things I want to remind people, I talk about this occasionally, young people, old people, that I think too many people still have the impression that life is supposed to be utopia, and they're down, and of course social media contributes to that, and see how much better some people's lives look. They just look better, and all that. Life is a struggle, man. I mean, it's you go through periods of time where there's just a lot of struggle, and then other times there's not so much. It'll just vary. It'll vary. But man, just look back through history, study history, what people had to survive and struggle just to get through the daily life, and we got it so good in today's world for the most part that in most people that it's easy to just, I don't know, get down or think it's not good enough. We got too much time on our hands to think about it. We're not busy scouring the world for food so we can survive as much, But, just things are going to happen, negative things. You're going to have a job, you're going to lose a job you didn't think you should have lost. You're going to lose people, family, friends will die. It's going to happen. You'll have downturns in your business. They may go out of business. You may have a traffic accident. You may have some real health scares or health problems. Most people have all these things at some point, and maybe at a lot of points in their lives. Really, as I was talking about last week, savor the time when you're not having some serious struggle, some serious health problem or job problem. You're not dead broke, whatever, which is usually brought on by ourselves. But, school is not always fun. There's always somebody to pick on you, to be jealous of you. I've got a news flash for you. Human nature is not always pretty. A lot of people never get over all those negative parts of the human personality and characteristics of humans. There's the envy and jealousy, and that's revealed in a lot of different ways. And people try to make you feel less, to build themselves up. And it doesn't end with middle school or high school. It's just all that stuff is kind of a lifelong thing, because humans just are the way they are. So you need to carve out your own life and appreciate what you got and just do the very best you can, and don't get down or depressed over nothing. Wait till something serious happens before you get down, okay? Too much. Anyway, that's my advice for whatever it's worth. I'm going to shoot a little more. I was going to tell you about this site too. My gosh, I love the peep sights I had on my other one, and I have on my SGL 20, right? And do I have that on one of my Chinese AKs? I guess I don't. I've been meaning to get one, but I got one. In fact, I met the people at Krebs at the NRA thing, Krebs Custom, and Mark Krebs, I think, talked to him on the phone. I got one for this, a peep sight. They call it the Krebs Custom Peep. I guess it's not a ghost ring they call it, but I like it on an AK better than this little notch. I can see it much better. All that. And man, it's tough to install though. I even bought a rifle vise, which I've never owned. I've meant to at times. You get to working on a rifle, a long gun, shotgun. I'm not a gunsmith, but anything you do, if you really need it to be stable, and you just got to put it on the bench and try to hold it, you need 4 hands, I bought one, and I just wait for it to come in before I even try to install that sight, because it's really tough. And at least for me, I remember the others, I remember just about not being able to do it, and I don't know how I got it done without a vise. And so I thought, well, this will be easier. I got it locked in, I got it all adjusted, put that thing in there, and I got the screwdriver, started working on it. I just can't get it in. I mess with it. Okay, my Sam 7 is just going to have a regular AK sight. That's just it. If I want a peep sight, I'll get out my SGL 20, just the way it is. Or I'll put a red dot on it or something like that. So anyway, these are nice. So it seems to work. I really hadn't shot it, but a couple of shots. Yeah, literally 2 shots, and I just to make sure it fired. So let's take a couple more with it. You want to? An AK is a pretty thing. I guess you have to be a little sick to think an AK is pretty, but they're pretty in the sense that they are very, very functional, right? Okay, let's clean out some of these targets. Like that bowling pin right there. Oh man, went through the pin and hit the cowboy. I didn't want to do that. He's too close. Let's get that orange 2-liter and the propane tank, 1 bullet. Took 2 after all. Took 2 rounds. Well, not bad for a horrible AK sight, you know. I can see it a little bit. So, especially since it looks like I'm gonna have to live with it. Once I take it to a gunsmith, admit defeat. I sort of have admitted defeat. I don't know. I may get it out one more time, lock it in there. But oh boy, it is so tight. It is so hard to get out. It's a booger. You know, I mean, I don't care if I even destroy it. I mean, I still can't. I don't want to tear up the gun. It's a thing too. You know, it's always an issue. So, yep, SAM-7. If you've never fired an AK with, well, if you've never fired an AK, what's wrong with you? You're missing out on something that's fun. But if you've never fired one with a milled receiver, it is a little softer shooting. You know, the weight and everything. It is. It's not like night and day or anything. It's nothing that has to be on your bucket list. I've got to own a milled receiver AK sometime, anything like that. But they're nice. And then the thing that attracted me initially with these things, of course, their receiver is famous for, what's it, hot die forge and all that. It's supposed to be like the ultimate receiver on any AK of all time or something, the Bulgarian Arsenal. And SAM-7. But what attracted me initially, I picked one up in a shop back in 2013 or whenever they came out, and I looked at it, I picked it up. Okay, that's a NATO length. I could handle that. Okay, because so many AKs, they're just unshootable for me. The short Warsaw, you know, length stock. And I was like, that feels pretty good. And then one thing about folders, any kind of folder, is how cheap is it? You know, wow, that's a solid folding stock. Locks in like a bank vault door and everything, and feels good. And the reputation, you know, was impeccable on this thing. So that's what attracted me to the first one. And I like that stock. This particular, I mean, a folding stock is nice. You don't have to have a folding stock, but since it's the right length and it's solid when it's open and everything, it's like kind of a why not? Yeah, it's cool. I don't care for the underfolder. I mean, there's AKs with you know, the underfolder, and I don't know, they're short, they're flimsy, you know, like a piece of wire. I mean, and some of those are expensive. I wouldn't give you a half price for them. They don't appeal to me at all. Partly because of my size, and partly because of my feeble brain. You know, but I like this one. So there I am, trying to sell you that, aren't I? So. Can I shoot this thing one more time? I need to load a mag. I'm going to try some more of these Underwood plus P's, okay? So, like I say, go to you folks that watch the videos, you catch them whether you get notified or not, and most people don't. Could be a little shadow banning going on, who knows? But, yeah, check out the description every now and then. There's information there. Links to people that help us and other things, and the like I say, Widener's, you know, the ammo supplier. Really appreciate you supporting people that support us, whatever it is. If you have any use for it at all, it makes sense. Okay, let's try these, and I'll let you go because I might stick in a little rambling here about my trip. Maybe while I'm on the trip, who knows? All right. Limp wristed. It's not. Put him back in there. A lot of punch, a lot of punch. Might have limp wristed it, I don't know. The fact I was shooting one-handed, it makes me, suspicious of that. But anyway, because that thing is not malfunctioning as far as I know. Pretty cool. I like that pistol. I like it. I like it. All right, so I'm gonna let you go now, and I'll wrap it up, and then maybe I will insert something in the video, or maybe not. Maybe I'll just see you next week. But guess what? You'll know if I stick in some more rambling somewhere about my travels. Say hi to everybody. Oh, say hi to everybody. Everybody wants to see you. Everybody wants to see you, Slam Fire. Say hi to the people out there. Say hi to the people. Yeah, I told you I'd be back. I would insert something and yak at you a little bit more before I signed off. And since I'm over here on the porch, look who I got to come up and see me. He missed me. Didn't you miss me terribly, big guy? You all didn't, because I was just talking to you. But since I was talking to you from the other location, quite a few days have passed. Hello, big boy. Yeah, you're not going to jump off, are you? Yeah, old Slam Fire. Yeah, he came over to see me. Good boy, lie down. That's a boy. So anyway, yes, since I took my last shot and was handling the AK-47, specifically the Arsenal, I'd been to Chicago and across Wisconsin and Minnesota and into South Dakota and back again across there into Chicago again and out of Chicago and back here. So, wow, I did it pretty fast, didn't I? Yeah, because it just seems like minutes since I was shooting some 7.62 by 39, right? Yeah. Can you see old Slam? Yeah, you can sort of see Slam Fire. He's a good boy. He's a good boy. So yes, I went a little early this week on the first segment because I knew I'd be gone. I wasn't even sure I'd get back in time, to tell you the truth. But I did. I'm here in time to render this and post it. So went up to John, back and forth to Chicago, does a lot of comedy up there. It's all right. You get the Slam Fire gets nervous with me talking loud in his ear. He wonders what's going on. Since I don't just sit around and do this when he's in my lap normally, do I, Kitty? Or was I on your tail there? Sorry, big guy. But so I went up to Chicago, drove up there, and I'm a driver, should fly, but I don't like to fly. I will if I need to, have to. But I flew every week almost in the 80s. And just when you're 6'8", flying is especially not fun. It's not fun for anybody. Now, if you're someone who has never flown before, in an airplane I'm speaking of, I've never flown either on my own wings or anything, but if you've never flown before, and when you look up and see an aerial plane flying over and think, wow, that would be cool to fly in an airplane, or I'd like to fly somewhere, or I wish I could afford to fly somewhere, or whatever your thoughts might be, perish the thought. You're not missing anything. Crowded airports, crowded airplanes, and yeah, not a lot of fun. Anyway, I'm a driver. I drove to Chicago, and John and I went on the next day from there up and over to Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and to Silencer Central headquarters. Pretty cool. Yeah, I've been inviting us up there for a couple of years, and we just hadn't gotten up there. So, well, why not? Where's my water? Yeah, why not? Let's just do that. And went there, even made a little video. You may have probably haven't seen it yet, just a little thing, and did a funny little FAQ too over there in the room. They've got a room, a cage within the structure of the warehouse, whatever, for the suppressors that are awaiting approval. 30,000 of them. It was a huge room, and you've probably seen that by now. Yeah, I just got back. I will probably put that at that little FAQ. Maybe you'll see it, or maybe some pictures on Facebook, the public Hickok 45 page. But anyway, so yeah, wow, what a contrast. Here I am back at the old homestead. Well, it looks like I'm not in the woods, but the house is sort of in the woods. And so I guess I'm in the woods, just at a different location. So what a contrast between Chicago, spent a fair amount of time in traffic. Chicago, if you drive into Chicago, you too will spend a fair amount of time in traffic, getting into the city and then getting out of it and then getting back into it and getting out of it again. Oh, wow. Yeah, yesterday and this morning coming down. But yeah, what a contrast. It's interesting. I was thinking, John and I walked around and, had a couple of meals and drove around. He's on the north side of the town when he's up there. It's just a different life, totally. Most of y'all have been to a city, you know what that's like, but isn't it just so different? And some people have grown up in that environment. It's really mostly or all what they know. It's interesting, the different cultures and experiences that people have, really. But for all the negative publicity of Chicago, and I would hate to drive into there and out too many times, but for all the bad negative publicity, we covered a lot of miles and square miles just hanging around and driving around, and went over to the Biograph Theater where Dillinger was killed, and the site where the St. Valentine's Massacre occurred. No, it wasn't necessarily a sightseeing trip, but I caught a couple of things I hadn't seen, and I'd been there before a few times. It's been a long time. But it's just a different way of life and an interesting way of life. And yeah, what I was going to say, just really, sorry guys. Just most people just going about their business, going to work, back and forth, and getting on the train, and getting off, and at least that whole area, most of that really just strikes you as a kind of a working class neighborhood. A lot of young people, but just mostly working class people, regular folks. Obviously, when you're in a large city, you see some strange folks. You see strange folks everywhere. You probably see some strange folks on your computer screen right now, right, Slam Fire. I'm a strange folk, aren't I, Slam Fire? So why am I speaking so loud? Why are you hollering at me? What are you talking about? He doesn't know he's so cute, and that most of y'all already seen him. People all over the planet have seen him and think he's cute. He doesn't even realize that, do you? Do you, Slam Fire? He's a good boy. He's a good boy. You're a good boy, aren't you? Yeah, my buddy. But yeah, that part. And now there are parts of Chicago you would not want to travel in, right? On the south side and around. But like most things, there's a good side. Some people have a city they just hate, because they've seen the worst parts of it, even a small town. But in most towns and cities, there's some place that's just not that bad, right? It may be pretty cool. Well, what is a big deal here, big guy? Don't tell me you're gonna act like you miss me. Cats just don't do that. The cats just don't do that, do they? Not like a golden retriever. Well, get comfy. Is that better? Okay, that's better. There you go. Okay. So anyway, and then we went on up to Silencer Central. That was really interesting visit, and their operation is very classy. And great folks. I'd already met quite a few of those people at various gun shows and NRA meetings, different places because they really get out to all the shows and things. But it was neat being at the headquarters and seeing, the operation and how it works, and meeting a lot of folks there. And of course, Brandon Maddox, the owner, had dinner with them, and just spent the day there. It's pretty neat. It's always neat to or good or whatever you want to say, when you're working with people that, I mean, it's a commercial venture of sorts, right? Whenever you have sponsors or whatever it is, everybody knows that. And it's good though when it's people you like, companies you like, that situation. You really develop friendships with people, and you just don't almost think of it as a commercial kind of thing endeavor, and many of you have had that experience, you know what I'm talking about. But it was pretty cool, and just a long drive. I'm like I say, I'm a driver. I don't mind it. I probably have averaged a trip and a half out west every year. Seems like we're going twice some years, but I, drive 4,000, 5,000 miles, on a trip out there, maybe 2 weeks, especially tied in with SHOT Show, and then sometimes not. And the one year I didn't go to SHOT Show, but went, I guess it was 2021. I guess, wasn't it? We went out, and that was my wife and I on that trip when it drove all the way out into California, San Diego, and then came up to LA and did the thing with Tucker, Carlson interview and follow-up interview and some things over there, and then drove back. And so that wasn't really a connection with SHOT Show. I think that was in April or something. COVID was still going on. It was kind of weird out there. Because it was like right in the middle of it for them. Well, at least in their mind. I think it was in in the middle of everything in their minds in California for about 3 years, and it still maybe is not over out there. I don't know. But driving, some of you may hate to drive, but I don't know. To me, it's relaxing in a lot of ways. Now, it's nice, of course, you have a comfortable car, a dependable, reliable vehicle. And that's one of the luxuries I partake in, just having a large, comfortable car, and Yukon, GMC, and that rides like a dream, really, and just comfy, plenty of room. I'm spoiled by those things, and cars like that. I'm about to look at. Been kind of looking around. I've got 4 years and about 25,000 miles on the thing. Really no trouble with it. But that's one of the luxuries in my old age that I'm going to partake in, is keeping a relatively new car, 2, 3 years old, 4, whatever, maybe 2, I don't know, it just depends, that is comfortable, roomy, and reliable and dependable. Knock on wood. Oh, I'm scared. Stand for cats are on alert for any sound, right? But so driving doesn't have to be all that horrible. And I'm not like some guys that are old school. You may have had a dad or a granddad, somebody you dreaded going on a trip with them because they wouldn't stop for anything. Everybody in the car is dying to go to the bathroom. Well, we'll stop up here in the next town, about 80 miles on up the road. I'm not that way, and I like to keep moving, but I stop. Doesn't make that much difference, As I've said before, it's like the people on the road, just around your town or whatever, they're just zipping around and racing up to the stop sign and trying to get around you if they get any chance at all. You're going beyond the speed limit, and all of you arrive at the same time, though, into town or wherever you're going, and they've not gained a thing. They've just run real fast and haven't really gotten anywhere any faster. And that's kind of the way I look at it, driving that way. If I want to stop, get something to drink or whatever, just stop. I don't think much about it, and doesn't really add that much. When you're on a trip that is, I don't know, maybe 10 hours or 16 hours or 20 hours or whatever, it doesn't really make that much difference. And it makes the trip more pleasurable, just to enjoy the ride. But I don't mind driving. I really don't. Now I used to. I'll tell you, there's one of the advantages of my new diet or way of eating. Somebody's mowing in the rain, and I used to get backaches occasionally, a little more, and I came to realize that was not really a backache in the sense of a disc or bones or that kind of thing. It was like inflammation, which is talked about a lot. I realize it, but I realized that's really what that was. 'Cause I can drive on and on and on and on. 15 hours in a day, 18 hours in a day. Sometimes I've done that, and I'm okay. So my new diet and having lost some weight and everything, I think is the reason for that. I don't know what else would be, because I kind of struggled with that for a lot of years, just off and on. It wasn't really a back problem. It's just you get pains more easily, here and there. Particularly if I was riding in a car for a long time. Y'all were dying to know about that, weren't you? So, well, I'm so impressed with Slamfire, because if you know anything about cats, when you want them to do something, that's the time they won't do it. And if you want them on your lap, then they're probably not going to come around. And if you don't want them, you can't get rid of them. Isn't that right, Slamfire? See, as friendly as he is, it's still got to be his choice. I just called him over here as I was starting up the camera, and because he missed me, he hadn't seen me in a long time, and he came over and hopped up. And particularly if it's warm, they're not as likely to want to lie on your lap necessarily very long. But he's a good boy. Cats just never do what you want them to do. So that's the thing about cats. For those who don't know cats, you wonder why people print or post so many pictures of cats in maybe an odd pose or an odd place or up on top of a shelf or whatever it might be, in the kitchen, and so someone thinks that's cool and posts it. Well, the thing about cats is it's not like some things. You could take your kid, your baby, your what else? I don't know. You can set things around, take pictures of it, whatever. You just can't place a cat somewhere. Oh, let's get a picture of the cat up on top of the fridge. Let's set him up there and get him to lie down and get a picture. That'll be cool. Nah, no cats I know of ever been around. They don't like to be put anywhere. Look at him, as friendly as he is, and he spends a lot of time in my lap and everything. But generally, if I pick him up and put him, like he could be standing right here, I pick him up and just put him here comfortably, very easy. He's bang, jumps down. Doesn't like to be picked up at all. We give him that flea medicine, tick medicine. What is it? Oh gosh! Anyway, you put a couple of drops on the back of their neck. Lasts for a month. I can't think of what it's called. And I have to pick him up, and my wife will put it on. I have to really get a good hold on him because he doesn't like to stay. He's my buddy, but it's like you're trying to hurt him or something. You're picking him up to hurt him, and it is like you've tormented him. And he'll cry. He'll may let out a sound sometimes, and all you're doing is just holding him and won't let him move. And doesn't like it, do you? Just did it a few days ago, buddy. You remember it well. Little cats are funny. They're like old animals, period. They're like the young kids. I always feel sorry for them when, like, the doctor has to do something that's going to be uncomfortable. Just like these guys, when they take them to the vet or whatever, or pick them, or once a month for the flea medication. They got to wonder, what the heck? I thought you liked me. You give me treats, you feed me, you brush me. I got the run of the house. You don't seem to get upset wherever I am. You let me in the house, out of the house. Kind of whatever I want to do, since I don't tear things up or anything. And but yet once a month, you just snatch me up, and you do the thing I hate the most. You won't let me move, and you do something to my neck and put something on me I don't really like, and you just won't let me move. So, it was like taking a kid to the vets, even worse, or a kid, like 2 years old or something, or younger, and they have to get a shot or something that hurts a little bit. There's no way to avoid it. They don't know what you're doing. You just don't like me. You just don't like me. What did I do wrong? So anyway, sorry, Slamfire. It's life. It's life for a cat. If you were smarter, it wouldn't be a problem. Well, I'll let you go. I didn't want to yak too much, but I told you I might insert some more rambling. This is rambling 2x. Inside the rambling video, right? So, yep. Hit the road since I started this video. Covered a lot of ground since I started this video, right? Shot a couple of firearms, Glock 41, the Arsenal, got in the car, drove to Chicago, Sioux Falls, back, came back, got the camera back out, got slam fire, came up to be in the camera. I don't know if you can see his face. He's down against my knee. One of the cutest cats around, aren't you, big guy? He's my buddy. He's my buddy. Yeah. That lets you know how low someone has sunk when one of their best buddies is a totally worthless cat. Yeah, right. Yeah, right, Slamfire. I'll let y'all go. I won't sign off though. I'll just kind of pause here, and then I'll let that other big dummy at the shooting table sign off for me. Watch me pick up signs. See, he doesn't like to be picked up. Well, wow. Been a while since he's seen me, so he's letting me get by with more. That's a good boy. Say goodbye to the people. Say goodbye to the people. They think you're cute. We'll see y'all. Life is good.